Hey everyone, Jen here. Today, let's talk about two essential skills that every stock dog must master to work effectively. So, if you're struggling to get your dog to stay focused and listen to commands while working the livestock, this is a great session for you. And you're not alone. Many stock dog owners face this exact challenge, and I see it daily when working in both my online platform, the Door River Training Academy, and also in person lessons and clinics. It can be incredibly frustrating trying to control your dog's natural instinct to chase, only to find that it really works against you. Now, for close to 30 years, I've trained heading dogs, such as a border collie. And anyone who's lived with one of these dogs knows that these dogs are hardwired to run out and stop things from moving. So, whether it be a person, other dogs, livestock, this innate ability is what makes these dogs such effective workers. So stick around because by the end of this session, you'll have actionable ideas to help your dogs better understand their job. Now, the stock dog's instinct to move as a predator, leading the hunt to chase, can work both in your favor or against. So the dog can scatter your cattle or sheep all over the place, causing them more harm than good, or the dog can learn to move them calmly and effectively. Many stock dog owners I work with are frustrated at their dog's lack of ability to listen to the handler's commands when working stock. And this tells me that the dog has not mentally figured out that the handler is part of the herding picture. Now, this herding picture contains the handler, the dog, and the livestock. So if the dog's hardwired instinct overrides his mental aptitude to respect the handler, then the dog will make the choice as to how to work the livestock. So this might mean bringing the cattle too fast or too excited, or it might mean the dog won't listen when farther away from the handler. So we're going to take a quick look here at a 3-year-old dog that I had the first session with. And you can tell that the dog's not really respecting me too much at the start or the livestock. So let's take a quick look here. And there isn't any sound in this particular video because it was a super windy day. But you can have a look how he's zooming through. He's super keen, so that's a good thing. He's got lots of instinct, but once again, that instinct is overriding myself and my body language. So I added a little bit, he responded to my body pressure there. I added a little bit too much body pressure and he turned right off of the stock. So it's kind of a fine dance. Now he's starting to figure things out a little bit and starting to respect the flight zone of the stock a little bit. He's got quite nice shape to his turns here. So he's not on any commands here. He doesn't know them yet. He's not on a down. He's not on any flanks yet. But he's slowly starting to kind of get the idea of things. So here's where I'm going to go with that type of dog. This is why when I start training the dogs, whether they're 10 months or 2 years, I always focus on just two particular skills. To me, these skills are non-negotiable and form the foundation of effective work with livestock. So the first one is responding to body language. So first and foremost, the dog's ability to respond to my body language, specifically regarding pressure and release cues. The release is super important. Communication with the stock dog isn't just about verbal commands. It relies significantly on how well my dog can pick up subtle physical cues that I provide. So if a dog is responsive to my body language, it indicates that they are also in tune with my intentions and can react appropriately. So this responsiveness is crucial, especially in dynamic situations with stock constantly moving. A dog that understands and reacts to my skills can then begin to learn how to master my second must-have skill, and this is to self-control or self-adjust their pace. So my dog must be able to think independently and self-control their pace when approaching the stock. So this skill is critical because it demonstrates that the dog understands the dynamics of that flight zone and what's needed to move the stock. So a dog that can self-adjust is ready and able to read the situation better and handle livestock in a way that's both effective and safe for the stock and gets them moved. So when my dogs exhibit this ability, it's a clear sign to me that they're starting to think for themselves. And this independence reduces my need for constant direction and allows them to adapt their actions to the movements of the stock. So this really enhances the overall teamwork and effectiveness. Now, how do I teach these must-have skills? Well, it's essential that my dogs respond to both of these skills 100% in a smaller controlled area before we begin working in a big field. So depending on the dog, this might be a small arena, a paddock, a round pen, a field for some dogs. So if they're not consistently demonstrating these skills close up, then they'll really struggle to apply them when faced with working in a larger area. You won't be able to help the dog. So in the field, our methods of controlling these dogs are really limited, working at a distance. So this is why my expectation is for the foundational work to be really solid. So when I see that my dogs have mastered these two essential skills, I know I can transition smoothly into the next steps of training. So in all my dogs, I spend lots of time doing walkabouts or balance work, emphasizing my body language to block and release and analyzing how the dog responds. And at the same time, I'm really emphasizing the dog's approach to the stock. So once this goes smoothly, and it'll vary depending on the dog as to how long this takes, how many weeks or months or days for some, I can move on quickly to more advanced tasks, knowing that my dogs have the tools then they need to understand their job properly. And the dog is willing to let me help them at this point. So let's have a quick look at a 2-year-old dog that this was just his second session. And he had never worked sheep before and hadn't worked with a trainer. So I use quiet sheep, you'll notice. I work in a smaller pen, which then helps me to teach him the two skills again by allowing me to get closer to the dog. And this helps avoid harmful actions on my sheep too, so they're not getting chased into fences and so on. So let's take a quick look here at this video. We'll pull it up. Good boy, good. Stand, stand, good. Here. So I'll just tap the ground to get him to widen out a little bit when he goes away. His come-by is a little more natural for him, but he's got fairly even sides actually for just starting. Ayu! Get out of that. Ay! Ayu! Yo! So I'm just getting him to back off a little bit. Start to think about the pressure that he's putting on them. Good. Sometimes you need that pressure, but he doesn't need it right now. Get out of there. So building these skills takes patience, practice, and passion, of course, but are essential for effective stock dog work. So all of our programs teach these foundational steps so that owners can progress smoothly with their dogs. Thanks for tuning in to learn about the essential skills every stock dog owner needs. We have a 6-part series that targets these two essential skills, and you can find it more about it in our Train for Transformation program. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more.